Hello, Successful Sleep Group. It's Meredith Bruff here from Sweet Slumber. I wanted to talk to you today about some of the constant posts that I get. Some of you moms will come in new to the group or be in the group for a while and make very similar posts without even realizing it, because your babies go from having okay sleep to awful overnight, or they're doing really well and then it goes awful. It's probably the same thing. People talk a lot in sleep groups and in blogs and articles and books about regression. And I'm kind of particular when it comes to regression about what that looks like and what it is. You won't really hear me refer to sleep regressions. I usually am very specific, like, oh, that's caused by teething. Oh, okay, that's caused by a mental leap. Oh, that sounds like your child is learning new skills and it's causing sleep interruptions. So the other reason I don't really use the word regression is, that's just like, let's just put it all into one big lump of, labeling when there's something specific going on, and it's really, really helpful to understand what's going on. The other reason is that when your child is going through a mental leap or they're learning physical skills, they're actually progressing. And so I feel like it's a trade-off. Your child is sleeping badly. You might be going through like intense personality changes, or your child is really, really clingy and fussy. But it's a trade-off because your child is learning new skills. There's new parts of the brain that are functioning and understanding, and patterns that are forming. And it's actually really, really exciting. And it happens so often in the first year. It is every month, I want to say, in the first few months. So 5-6 weeks, then again at 8 or 9 weeks, and then again around 11 or 12 weeks. And then you get a few weeks off, and then it comes at 15 to 19 weeks for a whole month, sometimes a little bit longer. You get a few weeks off, and then it comes again around 23 to 27 weeks. So it just keeps happening like that. Really, really frequent, really long. But the good news is it might go on like that for the whole first year. But then when you get to the 1 year mark, your child will start having leaps every 3 months. And once you get to about 21 months, they're not really well documented anymore. And so you're not gonna be able to just look at your app, the Wonder Weeks app, and decide, oh, okay, my baby's in a leap. But you can guess from what I'm telling you, and my experience is that those leaps keep happening every 3 months during their second year and their third year. And after that, I think it goes a little differently. Maybe on the birthday at 6 months, it probably slows down more and more, or it's less noticeable. So a few things for you to know. If you're wondering if your child's in a leap, you can look online, or you can look on the Wonder Weeks app. There's usually a list of skills. The Baby Sleep site has a list for Wonder Weeks. There's a list of skills and changes and even behaviors that your child should be adopting, going through, transforming into, I don't know all the different words to use on this, but there will be a list of skills that they're supposed to be picking up. And if you can go through that and you just check off, oh, okay, my child just did 4 out of 6 of these. Okay, it's probably a leap. A lot of times that's the most helpful way for my clients to understand what's going on. I really like that. But it's also really good to know that there's only a few reasons your child's sleep's gonna just turn awful overnight. The good news is the last week of the leap, you start to see some good sleep, and it goes back and forth. And then all of a sudden, a lot of babies don't have that go back and forth, but all of them all of a sudden will just sleep a little better, okay? I know that kids are so different. Some of them are going to have bad sleep for months, and you can't really see a difference, and that's frustrating. But for the ones that are either doing okay or really well, you're gonna notice that things improve pretty quickly. For you mamas who have babies who have bad sleep all the time, I'm so sorry. There's so many different issues, so many different things that you can look at and solve, but it's a really long year if it's that way. It's a really long 2 years for some people and 3 years for some people, and it's kind of miserable. And I feel really bad for you because there's no quick fix. A lot of the babies who struggle for a long time, and that like the stuff that you read in the books doesn't help, the stuff in the articles and the support groups doesn't really help you. You probably have a high needs baby, or a baby that has some high needs traits, because they're a different breed. They need a different approach, a lot of different approaches. Some of the resources I really like for high needs babies, and you can Google high needs and see what some of these traits are. You'll probably know though if you have a really cranky baby or a baby that the advice doesn't work on, right? But the Fussy Baby site, there's one on Facebook that's a support group for high needs babies, but they also have a website with some resources. And I'm actually thinking of starting my own high needs support group, because that way us moms can come together and be very supportive. As you've noticed in this group, we don't have a lot of mom shaming or mom hating or judging or unkindness, and that's so important to me. I don't want any part of that in my group. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking about that. I'll keep you guys posted if we do that. Also, there's a book called Raising Your Spirited Child, and I love it. It's called, it's by Mary Sheedy Krasinka, and she had multiple spirited children of her own, or has, and she's amazing. She's brilliant. She has a website, so you can look her up as well. Her last name's spelled with a K, Kurcink. And the book, though, it's just wonderful, because each chapter is a different topic, and then she goes through the different traits and how to work with those traits. There's a chapter on sleep, and that really helped me get started with my support for spirited babies or high needs babies. But there's chapters on everything that you might run into as your child grows, and so that's a beautiful, beautiful tool, because it will help you have a more peaceful life with your child. Okay, let's go back to leaps. I just want to make sure that I really help you moms. I guess some of the things to think about is, number one, patterns aren't really going to work so much. So you're going to figure out some great things that work well with your child, and then when the leap comes, they're not going to work well. Or you're going to do something really well, all of a sudden your baby sleeps really well, and then the next night you can't duplicate it. Well, that's normal for some kids. It is. But that's just really common during a leap. So don't kill yourself trying to figure out patterns. I still try to follow what I knew before the leap, or patterns that are showing during a leap, because you don't want to just not have any naps or have your child go to sleep at 10 o'clock at night when they really need to go to bed at 7. So you just do the best you can, but lower your expectations. Know that it's going to be really different, not so easy. And so that brings me to the next survival tip, which is, please find ways to take breaks. Please find ways to be easy on yourself. You're lowering your standards, but you also need to ask for help. You need to see if there's any way for you to maybe even hire a postpartum doula that can come and watch your baby so you can get some sleep. What moms don't realize is, yes, you're superheroes. Yes, you're awesome, but you're also human. And so you only have so much to give. You only have so much you can do when you're really, really short on sleep and really stressed out. So this is where in my work I run into a lot of postpartum disorders when there's high needs babies during a regression. So you're at risk for having these symptoms show up and get worse and worse during these times. Postpartum disorders, anxiety and depression, I'm trying to think. They're hard to see sometimes, because you're just in it and you just feel like garbage for months sometimes, and weeks, and you don't realize that you're getting worse and worse, or that, I don't know, it's because you're in you and you don't see it, but other people might see it. So the best way to know that something is off is that you might just feel like you're not yourself, you miss yourself, and you don't have the self-control that you used to have. You could be crying a lot, angry a lot, and really grumpy with other people. And that can come from being tired. But if it's chronic, if it's all the time, and maybe you get a good night's rest and you still feel that way, or you have other obvious signs of severe depression or anxiety, you should definitely talk to your doctor, because there's holistic approaches. There's, just being able to speak to a therapist can really help you and help you make some plans, help you figure out ways to get more sleep. Working with me would really, really help you, because sleep is the number one way to take care of those postpartum disorders, but also that cause them. So yeah, I work with moms as early as 4 to 6 weeks with babies. I wish more people took advantage of that, because a lot of people just put it off until it gets really, really hard. And it always has something to do with, not always, often has something to do with the partner or husband who doesn't see the value. But being able to get your child to sleep through the night at a young age, say 3 or 4 months, is incredible. And so that's what I try to help parents do. I help them teach their children the habits and sleep skills that are going to last for forever, and help babies have stronger sleep habits early, so when those leaps come, they don't usually affect the babies as much. They are usually better nappers. They sleep through difficult things like teething and leaps. It's really, really cool. But on the other hand, the sensitive babies, no matter how early they're sleeping really well, they're going to show signs of being in leaps. I see that with rare cases. So yeah, and we work on schedule. We teach your baby how to fall asleep on their own, makes your life easier. It's really exciting. I work with families at, all ages up to 4, usually preschool. And like if there's some kind of difficult health situation or even mental health situation, I'll probably refer you to a sleep expert, like a doctor. But I have worked with some pretty tough cases. I'm really passionate about the ones that are really complicated, and the child might be super, super attached to mom, and I've had a lot of success helping families get past those really difficult sleep hurdles. So please set up a call with me to learn more about my services and how I can help you. It's a free call, and you go to my website, which is sweetslumbertime.com, and there's a tab that says free call. So it's pretty simple. Yeah, so I love helping people just find some normalcy and peace and smoothness and ease, predictability. Those are all the things that you lose when you have a child. And one of the biggest ones you lose is a sense of control and being able to influence, like greatly influence your life. I have to constantly tell moms, you gotta let go of that one. That just has to do with having a child that's not predictable and not controllable. It's hard, but I'm really glad that we have this support group, because you guys come to each other with your hard times, with your successes, and it's really beautiful to see a community of women who support and love each other, and that we can be supportive and kind. It's just a beautiful thing. All right, so if you search the group, you're going to find some more ideas, tips, support, compassion, empathy about mental leaps. So look up that phrase in the search bar. Look up survival tips. That's another one. You can look up regression, and just know that there are resources out there to learn more about mental leaps. There's resources out there to learn more about high needs babies, or spirited is another term for it. And you're going to find some answers, but it is really hard to find what you're looking for. So another way of finding some more information about that, you could work with me in a program, but you can also do like a half-an-hour consultation. You can pay for email support. I also do group coaching, and that's a cheaper way to work with me too. So I have programs, but then people can purchase those sorts of things on the side. So you can find out more about that on my website at sweetslumbertime.com. There's some shopping and purchasing information there, but also, through a call with me for some of the program information that I don't put on there. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening and learning. I really, really hope that if you're going through a difficult time right now, that it's just a mental leap, because those are temporary and there's a break. If your child just keeps going through different regressions and difficulties with their sleep, I'd really love to help you, whether that be on a smaller call or a higher scale support, like a program that I run. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope to do some more teaching on here in this new year. So thank you so much. Goodbye.